Okay, I am going to say something right at the start that most people who work in casinos will never say out loud. The table games in American casinos are not designed to give you a fair fight. They are designed to look like a fair fight. That is a very different thing. And after 31 years managing those tables, watching thousands of people sit down with their money, I know exactly where the money goes. I know which mistakes people make over and over again every single night in every casino in this country. And I know that nobody on the casino side is going to correct those mistakes because those mistakes are good for business. I retired in 2019. I have no employer to answer to. I have no NDA that covers any of this. Everything I am about to tell you is legal, public information, just information that casinos would rather you not organize in your head all at once. So that is what we are going to do today. 7 mistakes at the table games. 7 things that I watched people do for 30 years that quietly drained their wallets while they thought they were playing smart. Some of you are going to recognize yourselves in this list. That is okay. I am not here to make you feel bad. I am here to tell you what I would have told my own father if he had ever walked into one of my casinos. Let us start from the beginning. Mistake number 1, playing the side bets. I want you to think about the last time you sat down at a blackjack table. There is your main betting circle, and then right next to it, there is a little spot, sometimes a circle, sometimes just a marked area that says things like perfect pairs or 21 plus 3 or lucky ladies. Maybe it has a picture of a crown or some cards fanned out. It looks like a fun extra little game you can play on top of your regular hand. I spent years watching people drop $5 and $10 into those pots on every single hand. And I want to explain to you exactly what those bets are. The house edge on a standard blackjack game, where you play basic strategy correctly, sits somewhere around 0.5%. That is an extremely low house edge. That is one of the best deals in any casino. The casino makes very little money per hand on a skilled blackjack player. That is why they invented the side bets. Perfect pairs, depending on the casino and the rules, carries a house edge of somewhere between 4 and 10%. 21 plus 3 is similar. Some of the more exotic side bets run higher than that. You are going from a game where the house has a 0.5% edge over you to a side bet where they have an 8% edge over you, and you are doing it voluntarily on the same hand because the little circle is sitting right there and it only costs $5. The casino does not make its money on the main blackjack game. It makes its money on those side bets and on the players who make mistakes in the main game. The side bets are there for one reason. I designed my floor around them for one reason. They generate revenue. Every dealer on my floor was trained to mention them, not push them, just mention them. Keep them visible. That was enough. Stop playing the side bets. Every single one of them. They are not a game within a game. These are a second worst bet that runs simultaneously with your regular bet. Mistake number 2, taking insurance at the blackjack table. The dealer flips up an ace, and the dealer says insurance, and half the table puts money in the insurance pot, and I understand why. It feels like protection. It feels like you are being smart, hedging, covering yourself. Insurance is a side bet on whether the dealer has a 10 value card. Underneath that ace, you are betting that the dealer has blackjack. You put up half your original bet. If the dealer does have blackjack, you get paid 2-1 on the insurance bet, which covers your original bet loss. If the dealer does not have blackjack, you lose the insurance bet and the hand continues. The math on insurance is simple. In a standard 6-deck shoe, roughly 30% of cards are 10-value cards. The payout is 2-1. For insurance to break even, you would need about a 33% chance of the dealer having that 10-value card. You have about 30%. That gap is where the casino makes money on insurance. Every time, every table, every night. Even card counters, people who track the composition of the deck, only take insurance when the deck is so rich in 10-value cards that the odds actually shift in their favor. That is not the situation you are in when you are sitting at a normal table playing a normal shoe. You are not counting. You are just seeing an ace and feeling nervous. That feeling is what the casino is selling. Never take insurance. Write that down. Not once, not sometimes, never. The only exception would be if you know how to count cards, and you know the count justifies it. If you do not know what that means, that tells you everything you need to know about whether you should be taking insurance. Mistake number 3, playing roulette with American wheels. I have to be direct about this one because it is so simple and so costly, and almost nobody thinks about it. There are 2 kinds of roulette wheels in American casinos. European wheels have 37 pockets, numbers 1 through 36 and a single 0. American wheels have 38 pockets, the same numbers plus a 0 and a double 0. On a European wheel, the house edge is about 2.7%. On an American wheel, it is 5.26%, almost exactly double. You are playing the same game, making the same bets at the same table, but paying twice the price because of 1 extra green pocket. The vast majority of casinos in the United States use American wheels. They use them because they make more money. Occasionally, you will find a single 0 wheel on a casino floor, sometimes in a higher limit area, sometimes as a special game. If you want to play roulette, find that wheel. If there is no single 0 wheel on the floor, you are choosing between paying 5% to the house or not playing roulette at all. I personally would recommend not playing roulette at all. But if you're going to play it, this is the single decision that cuts your cost in half before you ever place a bet. Mistake number 4, playing the tie bet in Baccarat. Baccarat has a reputation as a complicated, exclusive game. It is actually one of the simplest games in the casino. You bet on either the player hand or the banker hand, or you bet that they tie. That is it. The cards are dealt by the dealer. The rules are automatic. You make almost no decisions. The banker bet carries a house edge of about 1.06%. That is after the 5% commission the casino takes on winning banker bets. That is still one of the lowest house edges you will find on any table game. The player bet is about 1.24%. Both of those are perfectly reasonable bets. The tie bet pays 8-1 at most casinos. That sounds exciting. The house edge on the tie bet is 14.36%. 14%. I want you to sit with that number for a moment. You are betting at a house edge of 14% when you could be betting on the banker at 1%. Those 2 bets are sitting at the same table. They are available to you simultaneously. You can reach over about 3 inches to the left or right and cut your house disadvantage by 93%. When I walked my floor and I saw someone put chips on the tie box, I knew exactly what the kind of player I was looking at. I am not saying that to be cruel. I am saying it because the tie bet is the casino's favorite bet at the Baccarat table. It is there because it looks like a big payout opportunity and because most players have no idea what house edge means in practical terms. Banker, player, those are your bets at a Baccarat table. That is the entire list. Mistake number 5, using a betting system. I am going to describe a situation. You are at a table and you lose a hand. So you double your bet. You lose again, you double it again. Eventually, you win. And when you win, you recover all your previous losses, plus 1 unit of profit. You feel clever. You feel like you found the answer. This is called the martingale system. Casinos love the martingale system. I am not exaggerating. When I trained new dealers and new floor supervisors, I would sometimes joke that the martingale was the best marketing tool the casino ever had, because it made people feel in control right up until it destroyed them. Here's the problem. Doubling up works until it does not work. At a $10 table with a $500 max bet, you can only double 5 times before you hit the table limit and can no longer continue the system. A losing streak of 6 hands in a row is not a once-in-a-lifetime event. It happens regularly. When it happens, you have lost your entire progression and you cannot recover it. And here is the deeper problem. No betting system changes the house edge. Not the martingale, not the paroli, not the d'Alembert. None of them. They change how you distribute your risk. They change whether you lose a lot at once or a little over time. But they do not change the underlying math of the game. The casino has the same edge on every single hand, regardless of how you are sizing your bets. You cannot overcome a mathematical disadvantage by rearranging your bet sizes. The casinos have known this for 100 years. They let people use systems because systems do not hurt the casino. Play flat bets. Decide before you sit down how much you can afford to lose. Bet the same amount every hand. Leave when you hit your limit. That is the entirety of a sensible approach to managing money at a table game. Mistake number 6, staying at a table because you are trying to get even. This is the one that hurts people the most. More than the bad bets, more than the systems. This one, you sit down, you lose $200 in the first 45 minutes, and you do not leave. You stay because you are trying to get back to where you started. Getting even becomes the goal. The original goal, which was probably to have a reasonable evening with a certain amount of money, has been replaced by a new goal that the casino did not set for you, but that works completely in the casino's favor. Every hand you play after you decide to stay and get even is a hand played with a distorted objective. You are no longer making calm decisions. You are making decisions from a losing position, emotionally. And in most cases, people start loosening their bet sizing at this point because the amounts start to feel abstract once you are already down significantly. I watched this happen at my tables every single night for 30 years. I knew which players were trying to get even. Their posture changed. Their bet sizing changed. They stopped looking around the room. They locked in on the table, and the table took everything they had. The casino does not care whether you get even. The casino has no feeling about you at all. There is no justice mechanism inside a casino that rewards persistence. Every hand is a new hand with the same house edge. The $200 you already lost is gone. It has no relationship to what happens on the next hand. Staying longer does not improve your odds. It extends your exposure to an edge that works against you. Set a loss limit before you sit down. A real number, not a hopeful number. When you hit it, you stand up. That is the move. Mistake number 7. Playing games you do not understand. This one sounds obvious, but it is almost universal. There are table games in modern American casinos that did not exist 20 years ago. 3-card poker, 4-card poker, Mississippi Stud, Ultimate Texas Hold'em Casino War, Let It Ride, Pai Gow Tiles. Most players sitting at these games have a rough idea of the rules and are figuring out the rest as they go. And these games, almost universally, have house edges that are significantly higher than Blackjack or Baccarat. 3-card poker is a good example because it is genuinely popular. The house edge on the ante and play bet, played with correct strategy, is around 3.4%. That is not terrible, but most people also play the pair plus side bet, which ranges from 2.3% to 7.3%, depending on the pay table. And many players do not know the optimal playing strategy for the main game, which pushes the edge higher. When you sit down at a game you do not fully understand, you are making 2 mistakes at once. You are paying the house edge on the game, and you're adding an additional edge on top of that through incorrect play decisions. The casino counts on this. A significant portion of casino revenue from table games comes not from the mathematical house edge alone, but from player errors, bets made incorrectly, hands played wrong, strategic decisions made on instinct rather than logic. Before you sit down at any table game with real money, know the rules completely. Know the correct basic strategy, if one exists. You know which bets have the lowest house edge and which ones to avoid entirely. If you cannot explain the game clearly to another person, do not sit down with money yet. Watch for a while. There is no shame in watching. The shame is in losing money at a game you did not understand well enough to play correctly. So that is the list. Side bets, insurance, American roulette wheels, the tie bet in Baccarat, betting systems, chasing losses, and playing games you do not know. None of what I told you today is a secret in the technical sense. You could find pieces of this in books, in forms, in math papers, but nobody at the casino is going to walk up to you and organize it for you the way I just did. That is not their job. Their job is to keep the floor moving, keep the drinks coming, keep the atmosphere comfortable, and let the math do what it does. My job is done. I spent 31 years on the other side of these tables. If even one person watches this and makes one better decision the next time they sit down, that is worth something to me. That is what I never got to say while I was still working. Take care of yourselves.